Howdy.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Is that Jonathan that's joining?
That looks like Jonathan's mobile number.
Okay. Let us know when you're all hooked up there, Jonathan, if you can hear me.
Phil, did you get any Biden bucks yet?
No, I
Okay.
think we were supposed to get 50% by yesterday, but we haven't gotten anything yet.
I know you're just hiding it. Did Jonathan tell you to say that you don't have any money to me? Is that what this is?
He
So I
said
can't
wait
spend any of it?
till after December before you tell
Wait till
anybody.
December 1st? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I know where you work. I'll check the ceiling tiles for the bags of Biden bucks.
Okay.
Jonathan, are you here?
Hey guys, I'm on the call. I'm just here to vote yes. That's about it. So let's get to the matter at hand.
Okay, seeing the presence of a quorum, I will call the meeting to order and make sure staff is hit the record button. And I do believe just before we do start with the roll call, I would just like to comment that we certainly appreciate Kurt and Sarah and Clark attending today. Last meeting, we took a little liberty with the question and answers and so forth. That's not a normal kind of thing. And I think all the bases have been pretty well covered, but when we get to that point, I will allow, a couple of minutes for Clark, if you want to say a few words, and then we'll have pretty much the staff, the city manager, and just talk about the amendments that were made. So with that, we'll have the staff call the roll. Just remember to please note where you physically are located, including the county and city and/or township. Call the roll, please.
Dobies,
Here virtually in the great city of Jackson, Jackson County, Michigan.
Greer,
I am present and coming to you live from the city of Jackson in Jackson County, Michigan.
Holmes,
Here, and I'm also at City Hall, Jackson.
Green,
Here, live from my doctor's office in Heartland, Michigan, Livingston County.
Duke,
You're muted, Steve.
Not anymore.
Probably like him.
Attending virtually City of Jackson, Jackson County. Thank you, Derek.
Norris,
Present virtually, Summit Township, Jackson County.
Wilkins, Straub,
Here, Blackman Township,
Jackson County.
Jackson County.
Thank you, Ken.
Snell,
Mr. Snell, are you present?
I am here. I'm in my home office in Blackman Township, Jackson County.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
that's everyone, Chairman.
Okay, we have a quorum. And again, welcome to Ray Snell, County Commissioner, joining the board as the county representative. We look forward to working with you. All right, so I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented.
Moved.
Would so move.
Moved by Dobies, seconded by Straub. And of course, we have to do roll call votes. So I will have the staff call the roll unless there's any discussion on the agenda as presented. Hearing none, we'll call the roll.
Snell,
Ray,
Snell,
We're voting on the agenda as presented. Ray,
Okay, I didn't quite hear that. Sorry. Yay.
Straub,
Yay.
Norris,
Yay.
Duke,
yes.
Green,
yes,
Bones,
Yes.
Greer,
aye.
Dobies.
Yep.
All right. The motion to adopt the agenda as presented has passed unanimously. And now I will entertain a motion to adopt the April 14, 2021 minutes as presented. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Move,
Moved by Straub. Seconded by Duke. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will call the roll.
Dobies,
Yep.
Greer,
Aye.
Green,
yes,
Bones,
Yes.
Norris,
Yes.
Duke,
yes.
Straub,
Yes.
Snell.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously. And I will ask if there's any public comment or correspondence. I don't see any public attending. Staff, do we have any correspondence?
I'm looking for correspondence now, and I do not see any correspondence that has been received to the Brownfield Authority.
All righty, sir. Thank you much. There are no items for our consent calendar today, so we will move on to item 7, and that is our new business. And item A, recommendation to approve the Brownfield Plan and Development and Reimbursement Agreement for 769 through 811 East Washington Avenue, Objective East Washington LLC, and recommend to City Council for final adoption. I will
move
start.
approval, Mr. Chairman.
Or
Yeah, Mr. Manager, if you'd like to have the floor for a moment.
Yeah, I wanted to move approval and get a second so we could have a proper discussion.
There we go.
But if you want to do things differently, then I can do that.
Okay,
I seconded your motion, Mr. Manager.
all right, so
Thank
we
you.
have a
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
motion to approve by Green and seconded by Dobies, and now we can enter discussion. Would you care, Mr. Manager, to give us a few minutes on the amendments and the efforts that have taken place since our last meeting?
Yes, I can. Happy to do so, Mr. Chairman. Just 1 second, though. Why don't Shane take that over?
Yeah, as we discussed at the last meeting, which was voted 3-3, we had a tie on the 25-year Brownfield for the reimbursement of the costs at the time was roughly around $2.7 million. After lengthy discussion, with Kurt and Dave and Jonathan and Clark and the team, it looks like we were able to bring those costs down to reimbursable amounts of roughly $2.3 million as observed in your packets. Actual cost is $2,389,951 is what the new costs show in your packet. And that was moved to an 18-year brownfield. However, as you will notice, actually the brownfield will continue on until all costs are reimbursed. Not much more technical than that, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. How about Dave Stedgink? Would you like to make any comments? Looks like you're
Captured it
muted.
pretty well.
Okay,
The significant changes to the plan are the elimination of contingencies. Costs have been incurred. It's pretty well understood what the developer is seeking. The future taxable value is a projected number, and that has been increased within a reasonable amount. But again, trying to find a way to get these costs paid off in a reasonably quick manner, currently estimated at 18 years.
okay. I would, if Clark wants to share a moment or two, I would allow that before we dig into our discussion with the board.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to thank Mr. Jobies, Mr. Laporte, Mr. Green, and the rest of the council members for their time today and for the continued partnership that the city of Jackson has shown to Objective. We're very eager and enthusiastic to finish this project and start generating jobs and having a meaningful impact on the community. Couldn't be more excited, and just want to thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you very much. Board members, are there any questions of staff? Or
I have a
consultant?
couple issues with some of the language in the agreement.
Okay, go ahead.
Currently with all our brownfields, we make one payment every spring following the tax settlement by the county treasurer. At that point in time, I check to make sure each brownfield, taxes on each brownfield are paid, and I make one payment. On page 3 of the agreement, they're asking for semi-annual payments. I would like to make that annual. I don't want to have to make a special payment after the winter collection and then another one after the summer collection.
Okay.
And
Does
then,
that
then there's also a provision in 3B that has to do with, let's see, something about within 60 days after receiving a request for cost reimbursement. I'm not quite sure what they're referring to.
Okay, let's start with the first one. Does that seem like a doable change for you folks, Clark?
Kurt,
I'm sorry?
you want to?
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair. So I mean, that's really a business point, and but Clark, as long as you don't object, we can certainly do an annual payment instead of a semi-annual payment.
If that's what the city prefers, I have no objection.
Okay.
So usually about this time of year is when I do those payments, and I do them following the payment of the summer and the winter tax.
All righty, and then the second question.
Under 3B on page 3, I wasn't quite sure what they were referring to when they talk about payment being made within 60 days after receiving a request. And the payments will be made after the taxes are paid annually. So I'm not sure what they're referring to about the request for cost reimbursement and the 60-day provision.
All right. Clark or Kurt, I suppose, whichever.
Kurt, you want to address that as Warner drafted?
So, yeah, I was going to say, so what it really, it's kind of a waterfall provision, right? So the initial payment or the agreement to pay comes within 60 days after we submit and you approve the cost, subject to the way that the Brownfield works, which is you receive tax payments twice a year, but we can agree to a once a year payment. So, I mean, if there are things that need to be clarified in here, I'm happy to do it.
So how does the 60-day provision fall into that timeframe?
What that says is that the initial payment, to the extent available, gets paid. And really section 3B is really talking about what it is that we will get paid, agreeing on the total amounts that we will get paid. This doesn't actually trigger a payment.
Oh, okay. All right. I guess I misread that. It talked about shall pay the developer within 60 days. So I wasn't quite sure what you were referring to.
We can revise that, if you want, just to clarify, shall approve payment to the developer subject to the reimbursement agreement.
Okay.
I mean, if that helps. Okay.
Yep.
Sarah, would you please take charge of drafting on this stuff, and we can, assuming that this gets approved, we can get revisions back to you today.
Okay, and then on page 4, I just have a couple other points I'd like to clarify. Under section 3C, we don't make payments by registered or certified mail. We just use the regular mail for all payments that leave City Hall. I don't want to make an exception for this particular brownfield because we'll probably, I don't want to make extra work. We'll just send it out in the regular mail. So I would like registered or certified stricken out and just put regular mail.
Yep, we can certainly do that. I think that language was in the form agreement. So we can take that out if that's not how things are done. No issue there.
Okay, and then under D, and I think this is the last one. Sorry for taking up your time. Under D, they talk about making, if there's an insufficient brownfield TIF revenue and how that partial payment is made up. If the developer does not pay their taxes within a specific year, fiscal year, I won't make a reimbursement. Payment if the developer doesn't pay his taxes. So you've got, I think, the fourth line down under D, the authority shall make additional payments toward the remaining amount within 30 days. I want that stricken and just say in the subsequent fiscal year following. Upon receipt of the additional brownfield revenue.
Okay, and Phil, by all means, we appreciate, this is your special areas. So we're glad you're bringing these up to attention. A lot of times these agreements have boilerplate language and different communities may do things differently. My question would be, and maybe this is more for Jonathan, would you consider these to be minor edits, or do you feel it would be better that Phil makes motion to amend for each one of these separate areas?
I think so far, Sarah, correct me if I'm wrong, but so far, are you in agreement with the changes I've made?
As being minor edits?
If I may, sorry, Sarah, jump in, but yeah, no, I would consider these just kind of administrative changes. These are not substantive.
Okay, perfect. I'm sorry, Derek.
Just saying if Jonathan's there.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he said he's at the doctor's office. Hope everything's okay.
Gotcha.
So that's
All
the
right.
last one. That brings this agreement kind of in line with all the other brownfields we have, so that
Sure.
it's not unusual and I have to do different
Right.
things. with the plan that I do.
Right. Yep. First time we're working with this developer, so we're all getting used to each other, so we appreciate you guys understanding. Any other discussion from the board members? By the way, I just want you all to know, David and I are not in the same location, even though it may look like it from the ceiling. It looks very similar. It's kind of funny, but anyway, sorry for my jokes. All right, any other discussion from the board?
And I don't know, Jonathan, are you there to accept these minor modifications as part of your original motion? Then, Mr. Chair, I guess I'd withdraw my second and allow you to let that motion die, and I'd be happy to offer a comprehensive motion that is inclusive of all of that.
I'll withdraw my motion.
Okay, the motion being withdrawn with permission of this support. I'll entertain a new motion.
So I'll make a motion to, Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Brownfield Plan and Development and Reimbursement Agreement for 769 811 East Washington Ave, Objective East Washington LLC, and consider recommending to City Council for final adoption as amended by the following stipulations on page 3, moving a semi-annual payment to an annual payment, as on page 3, part 3B, approving as reflective of what Phil said, approving the payment subject to payment to the developer subject to the development agreement. Page 4, removing the certified mail and just making that regular mail. And then on page 4, part D, making that payment reflective of allowing for the city to make it in the subsequent fiscal year.
So support that motion.
Proper motion by Dobies, seconded by Snell. Okay, any discussion on the motion from the board?
Is that reflective of your stuff, Phil?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
Awesome. I would, if there's no other discussion, I would just comment and thank Clark and the team from Objective for revisiting things a little bit, tweaking things a little bit. Thank you to our staff members who were involved to bring this to where it is. And I look forward to voting in favor of this. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll have the staff call the roll.
Norris,
Yay.
Duke,
Yes.
Straub,
You're muted, Ken.
Celebrate. Oh,
Speak it, please, Ken.
yes.
Thank you.
Dobies,
Yep.
Bones,
Yes.
Greer,
Aye.
Snell,
Aye.
Green.
An exuberant yes.
Motion carries. And with that, bear with me for 1 second here.
Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the yes votes.
You're very welcome. Happy that this went through. Congratulations.
Thank you.
With there being no further business on our agenda, I would entertain a motion
Move
to
to adjourn.
move to adjourn by Dobies. Is there a second by, I'm sorry, somebody said. Green, supported. Okay, all in favor of adjourning till our next regularly scheduled meeting, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear any nays, so hopefully that suffices as a roll call vote. Thank you, ladies and
Thank
gentlemen.
you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr.
welcome.
Chairman.
Good luck at the doctor, Jonathan.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Have a good day. Bye-bye.